In a global scenario where electric vehicles have transitioned from a distant promise to protagonists of the automotive industry, BYD emerges as a silent giant. While Tesla dominates media headlines, the Chinese automaker has built an innovation network that propelled it to the top of global sales in 2024, surpassing traditional rivals with a combination of competitive pricing and cutting-edge technology. Behind this success, however, a complex geopolitical drama unfolds, reflecting the new realities of the technological war between China and the United States. The story begins with an industrial paradox. In February 2025, BYD engineers in Shenzhen unveiled an ultra-fast charging system capable of adding 300 km of range in 5 minutes, less time than a coffee break. Simultaneously, the company announced the free offering of its Level 3 driving assistance system on all models, an aggressive move that redefined market expectations. These advancements didn't occur in a vacuum. They represented the culmination of a decade of massive investments in research, stimulated by government subsidies that transformed China into the world's largest EV market. In this context of technological ascension, BYD's decision to establish a factory in Mexico seemed logical. With 40,000 units sold in the country in 2024 and a consolidated position as the third largest automaker in the Mexican market, the local production plan would allow circumventing import tariffs and directly competing with the American Big Three in their own backyard. The proposed facilities, a $600 million complex capable of producing 150,000 vehicles annually, promise to create jobs and boost the energy transition in North America. However, what seemed like a routine business strategy turned into a multi-layered diplomatic puzzle. The crux of the controversy lies in an apparently mundane technical detail: the classification of the Mexican factory as domestic production under USMCA rules. Legal experts explain that if 75% of the components originated in North America, the vehicles could cross the northern border without the 27.5% tariffs applied to Chinese EVs. For BYD, this meant privileged access to the coveted American market. For Beijing, it represented an existential risk, the possibility that valuable industrial secrets could end up in American hands through technological partnerships or even corporate espionage. Chinese hesitation takes concrete form in Beijing's bureaucracy. The Ministry of Commerce, responsible for approving foreign investments above $300 million, has kept BYD's process in regulatory limbo for 9 months. Sources close to the negotiations reveal that concerns go beyond patent protection. The machine learning algorithms that power BYD's autonomous driving system, developed with data from over 5 million connected vehicles, are considered strategic assets comparable to defense technologies. The physical proximity between Mexican operations and American research centers intensifies these fears. An industry executive compares the situation to building a TSMC chip factory on the border with North Korea. While Chinese regulators scrutinize every contractual clause, BYD faces an operational dilemma. Its factory in Hungary, approved in record time, serves as a revealing counterpoint. The crucial difference: the European Union doesn't represent the same competitive threat as the US in the field of electric mobility. Analysts point out that China, traditionally seen as a recipient of technology transfer, now finds itself in the reverse role, guardian of know-how coveted by former automotive powers. This role reversal explains the extreme caution. BYD's innovations in solid-state batteries and rare earth-free magnetized motors are the result of $15 billion in R&D investments between 2020 and 2024 alone. The impact of these delays reverberates through the global production chain. Mexican suppliers who had already expanded capacity to serve the new factory are now reconsidering investments. Workers in Saltillo, where the plant would be built, organize peaceful protests demanding transparency. Across the Rio Grande in Texas and California, automotive industry executives monitor the situation with mixed interest. Some see a window of opportunity to regain technological ground. Others fear that uncertainty will slow down the electric transition as a whole. The complexity increases when considering BYD's track record in intellectual property protection. In 2018, the company successfully sued a former engineer for leaking battery specifications to a Chinese competitor. This legal precedent, combined with cybersecurity measures that include isolated networks and rigorous biometric checks, suggests that the company takes technological protection seriously. Critics, however, argue that no system is foolproof, especially when operated 3,000 kilometers from headquarters in a region with a history of industrial information leaks. Meanwhile, American consumers remain on hold. BYD's Seal and Dolphin models, praised by specialized publications for their cost-benefit ratio, remain unavailable in the U.S. due to tariff barriers. The prospect of Mexican-assembled vehicles generated excitement in enthusiast forums, with Reddit threads reaching 15,000 comments discussing possible prices and specifications. This latent demand puts additional pressure on all parties involved, from lawmakers in Washington to strategic planners in Shenzhen. The current impasse illustrates a tectonic shift in global economic relations. For decades, Western companies complained about forced technology transfer in China. Now, the script is flipped, and the world witnesses for the first time an emerging technological power imposing its own safeguards. International trade experts point out that the BYD Mexico case could establish crucial precedents for future investments in sensitive sectors, from artificial intelligence to clean energy. In BYD's boardrooms, executives balance global ambition with corporate realpolitik. Plan Bs include increasing production in Hungary for export to the Americas, or accelerating the construction of a factory in Brazil, where the government has offered attractive tax incentives. Both options, however, imply additional logistical costs and extended timelines. In parallel, rumors suggest discreet negotiations with Mexican authorities to reinforce legal protections against unauthorized inspections or technical data requisitions. The outcome of this clash will have repercussions that transcend the automotive industry. For China, it represents a test of its ability to project technological power while protecting strategic assets. For the U.S., it questions the effectiveness of tariff barriers in a world of interconnected supply chains. And for global consumers, it may determine the pace and cost of the transition to sustainable mobility, a paradox where environmental advances collide with geopolitical rivalries. As the clocks tick, one thing is certain: the race for the future of transportation has never been so complex, nor so full of unpredictable twists.